Black Myth Wukong is amazing. I had no interest in playing this game when it came out, but my fucking god. At first I wasn't really sold on the combat of this game, because you're instantly thrown in a boss fight, which I personally found a bit overwhelming. After beating the first boss, Wukong fucking dies. When playing this forest part, I immediately knew that I would like this game. Beating up single weak targets with your stick is just so much fun. I really like the combat in this game. You combo light attacks that slightly stagger your enemies with hard-hitting heavy attacks that finish them off. Another thing that I really like about the combat is that if you time your dodge roll right, you will slow down time for a bit, which makes you feel so fucking cool. You can upgrade your character by collecting skill points and spending them in a giant skill tree. You can unlock so much cool shit, like different stances and even harder hitting attacks. Through the course of the game, you also unlock different spells. For example, you can lock an enemy in place, multiply yourself, or make yourself invisible for a short duration, and dash into an enemy with a hard-hitting attack. After beating the first boss of the game, you get a spell which lets you transform into him, letting you use an entirely different moveset. Mini-bosses in this game drop their spirits, letting you use their attacks as your own. The equipment in this game is actually something that I do not like very much. You basically collect resources and then you craft the armor with the best stats. You can also craft different weapons, but the game doesn't let you switch between the weapons that you already crafted. They just disappear if you craft a new one. This game is pretty linear in its design, with a lot of bonus areas that you can explore, offering other interesting experiences. Froggy! Hey, fuck you! Also, here I should probably mention that this game is visually stunning. Like, this game is fucking beautiful. The environments seem to be crafted with such care and just look amazing. One of my favorite parts of the game is this sand level, because you meet this funny headless guy who plays the hardest hitting music ever put in a video game. His music accompanies you through the entire level, and he always shows up when you beat a boss. It's so fucking fun. After beating the first few bosses, I genuinely thought that this would be a more casual experience than Elden Ring, for example. But this tiger guy fucking humbled me. This fight is so fucking great. You fight in a pool full of blood, and I really like his attacks. His attacks are really fair, but he's very, very hard to beat. This is just such a great fight. Generally speaking, most bosses in this game are pretty good and offer something unique and special. Here I want to touch on some fights that really stood out to me. Pretty early on, there's this white bear who is just visually stunning. You have a fight where you fight on a frozen over lake against a cool ass fucking dragon. There's this bell deer fight which lasts for 20 minutes because you deal no damage. There's this golden guy who might be my favorite fight in the entire game. You enter his palace and beat him pretty easily, but then he sucks you into his bag where you fight one of the previous bosses. After beating him, you take his form and fight little soldiers on a miniature castle until you get to the real boss fight. This fight is really interesting. He takes on a golden form which denies your damage and breaks after a few hits, leaving him open for a combo. You really have to balance when you can afford to hit his golden form, because it staggers you for a bit, making this such a unique fight. The people who designed this Ultra Spider should be imprisoned for life. The fight is really challenging as is, but at low health he triggers an all-new phase, hitting even harder and slowing down your dodge roll, making it less effective. Just fuck this guy. This Devil King is another fight that I really like. He has a very big moveset, attacking you with blade attacks and ground spikes. I would say that this is one of the hardest bosses, but if you learn his kit, he is so fun to fight. Pretty late in the game, you enter this pig guy's body.
It's in me.
and fight a killer mantis who uses the pig guy's blood to enhance his blades. He doesn't have the most interesting attacks, but the atmosphere is really a standout for me. The story of this game is so interesting. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about the mythology this game adapts. All I can say is that it fucking slaps. The game starts off pretty simple with you killing a big bear and retrieving one of the 6 lost relics. But then it hits you with this headless guy whose head you have to retrieve while fighting evil rats. Then this funny ass baby shows up. He wants to kill you with a dragon and store you in his sack.
This sack of mine can barely fit you all.
You survive the fight just to get third-partied by this fucking monkey who stabs you and sends you to prison. What? He just walks off. Oh my fucking god. Bro, it's the same guy. It's the same fucking guy. Dude, that was so fucking... After you escape the prison, you free this funny pig guy and ride a giant turtle. Bro, he's beating the shit out of him. Oh, he fucking missed. Oh. Now there's nothing in the way of killing this fucking baby. Just do it. Just kill him, pig guy. But no, it turns out that the baby wasn't evil. He was just possessed by a different guy that made him evil. Who in the actual fuck came up with this, and why is it so good? Naturally, in the next level, the pig guy's evil ex-girlfriend wants to eat him. The pig guy turns evil and you have to fight him. Then, the spider lady gets killed by some different guy you've never seen before and turns into the worst boss of the entire game. In the fire level, you meet a cute fox girl after defeating 2 evil heads, so no head. Obviously, the girl turns into a devil boy that transforms into a devil man after defeating him once. The entire story of this game is just so absurd. I highly recommend you experiencing it for yourself. The last area of this game tries something very different, throwing you into an open world, giving you a cloud for traversal. Here, you defeat different mini-bosses and unlock pieces of Wukong's mythical gear. After collecting all the gear, you go to Wukong's throne room, where you obtain his staff. You make your way to Wukong's remains, scaling a mountain and fighting loads of enemies in the process. This part of the game is absolutely perfect. Fighting these enemies feels like nothing you experienced in this game before. You completely annihilate all the enemies in your way, making you feel so immensely powerful. On the top of the mountain, you enter the rock where Wukong's memories lie, which leads you to the final boss of the game. First, you fight the stone statue, which isn't really very interesting in my opinion, but then he absorbs some of your power and you fight against yourself essentially. This boss's attacks are so powerful and punishing, making it extremely satisfying to dodge them. He has an attack where he uses the immobilize that you used through the entire game against you, interrupting your healing and taking a sip. This fight is just so fucking epic and the perfect way to end the game. After the credits roll, all I could think to myself was, this game is something special. 9 out of 10, play it right now.